The STEM Society.
Welcome back to the STEM Society. My name is Cole Jackson. This is episode 108. We're live. Thank you for joining me for another wonderful episode. I hope you guys had a great week. I pretty much went up and down. It was a roller coaster week. You don't care about that. We got some hip hop commentary to get into. Lil Wayne dropped his newest album, The Carter 6. I'm not going to review that album. I'm actually going to look at more of Lil Wayne and where we see him right now. He's in a strange place in his career. It's weird. And then I'm gonna talk about Timbaland and the AI signing that he just did. Yeah, he just signed an AI singer to his AI record label. It's all weird. It's nothing. I don't know. This guy's weird. Let's go ahead and move into the news.
Music news.
If I was to tell you that Lil Wayne was going to drop a dud this time around, would you have believed me? If I also told you that Lil Wayne was somebody who's not ready to carry an album or he can't carry an album anymore, would you believe that too? I called that shit a long time ago, just saying. Lil Wayne just dropped the Carter 6, and it has been a lot of back and forth over the timeline about how bad the album is, or how good the album is, or we're just delusional as a complete whole as hip hop fans. Let me just be the first to tell you right now, album stinks. It's trash. It's not good at all. But that's because we haven't let Lil Wayne get out of this bubble that he's been in for a very long time. Let's unpack that. There were a ton of people who were waiting on the Carter 6, and we wanted to hear more Lil Wayne. I think a lot of us felt very heartfelt because he didn't get the Super Bowl in New Orleans, and we were just kind of like, man, we gotta get a win for Wayne. Wayne needs one, and he announced the Carter 6. Now he had been in Carter 6 mode for a very long time. I remember when he announced the date and going in the studio and all this other shit, and we was just like, okay, he about to come out with a good one, with a banger. Or that's what y'all said. When we finally got the album, we got more recycled punchlines, we got no growth, we got no maturity. It feels like he's stuck in 2008. And that's not a good thing. Lil Wayne has officially moved into Eminem status. Now, I know you're saying, but Eminem's the GOAT. Yeah, I know he is. It's frustrating in your universe, not mine. Wayne has moved into I'm rapping just to show you guys I can still rap. There's no direction in this album, man. He's not going anywhere with this. He's not out of here. And that's a little bit of our fault as fans. We have kept this man protected for so long because he meant so much to a lot of us growing up, and he had really been putting out. He shaped a lot of our the way we listen to music, especially mixtape Wayne. Mixtape Wayne was something serious. We all know that, but it got to a point where we didn't let Lil Wayne grow. We didn't let him get out of what he used to be, and that's a lot of our fault. As fans, we sit up here and we expect Wayne to give us these metaphors and these punchlines, but we never expect him to give us a growth. Lil Wayne has like adult kids now. Adult kids. And that's the problem. Raptors moved past what he used to be, or how hip hop used to be. And he's stuck in 2008. He's not vulnerable. He doesn't really tell stories anymore. And his lived experience sounds like he's still Wayne from Carter 2. Sorry. You're not Carter 2 Wayne anymore, bruh. I blame us, the fans. We have accepted mediocrity from Wayne for a very long time. When Funeral came out, I was the first one to say, that ain't it no more. He ain't doing it no more. And there was a lot of people who continuously call me a hater. You a hater because you telling me Wayne ain't got it no more, man. No, he don't got it no more. Sit down and listen to the lyrics that this nigga is saying. Listen to some of the punchlines he's making, bruh, and tell me that's not old school Young Money punchlines. I just think that carrying an album is not the cross that Wayne needs to bear anymore. It's over with. It's done. But I had to take a step back. I took a step back because I was being a little too harsh on the album. Now, the album has really bad production. The production on there is not the best. I think there are some songs where Wayne hits some really cool pockets and he gets into some really cool rhyming schemes, and he has that feel every now and again through the album. And that's okay. But when you get in a Wayne album, you want more than just a few songs that hits pockets every now and again. You want a full project that's going to give you what you're looking for. But then I had to take a step back and I had to say, wait a minute. You don't you don't do Pusha T like that. Pusha T does nothing but coke raps. For the last 20 years, that's all you got for Pusha T. Coke rap. And I think it's an unfair scale when it comes to that. I love Future. Future's another one of my favorite artists. And he's been doing the same. Yeah, he's been doing the same type of songs for since 2015. And I don't give him a lot of slack. But neither one of those I've never said is one of the greatest of all time. I've never put any one of those in a top 5 list. I've never said their rhyming skills could match who's at the top. I mean, we talk about who's at the top. We talk about Big. We talk about Jay. I've never said that about Pusha T or about Future. Wayne has always been in the conversation. That's the difference between us judging those two artists and judging Wayne. The cultural contradiction that we play is something serious. We let some legends coast off their formula. Pusha T coast off the coke rap formula. Future coast off the lean, off the party type formula. And we let that shit slide. We always let that shit slide. I expect Wayne to be both evolved and to be sharp when it comes to rhyming, because when you're called the greatest of all time, you have to grow. You have to move into something better than what you are. And he hasn't done that. He hasn't done that. We hold Wayne up because of mixtape nostalgia. And if you say that we don't, you're a liar. You're lying to yourself, and you're most definitely lying to Wayne. That mixtape era of Wayne was one of the best times of my life growing up. And a lot of other people share the same sentiment. But we lean into that mixtape catalog so hard, and we kept them afloat because of it. That's our fault. That is us having the nostalgia glasses on, saying, yo, that Wayne will be here forever. Yes, he will in recordings. This shit right here, that ain't it. That's not what we want from Wayne anymore. I'm very conflicted right now. I know we just let a lot of legends get away with the bullshit. But for me personally, I just hold Wayne to a higher level. I hold him to a high level. I can show you his feature run from 2024 and tell you he is that. But just not for a full 19 songs. Not for 19 straight songs on an album. It's tough to let your heroes go down the toilet. And I'm not saying he's trash. I'm not saying that the nigga is just garbage. I'm just saying, let's put the jersey in the rafters, step out here and there. Let's move him into the Jay-Z role. Jay steps out for a feature here and there. And I think Wayne should do the same thing. I don't want no more albums from Wayne. I'm done with those. I didn't want to listen to this, but because I do hip hop content and because I do album reviews, I had to listen to it to basically listen to what I expected. A rapper who still lives in a time that man has forgotten. Rap has evolved and moved forward, brother. You can't get away with that stuff no more. Does Wayne still give us more of like insane rhyme schemes? Yes, he does. He does give us more insane rhyme schemes. But there's no weight behind that anymore. Everything is empty raps. He hasn't lived a different life in years. When it all boils down to it, Wayne's presence on this album sounds more like muscle memory than it does hunger. You don't believe me? Listen to the album with him and Big X the Plug. Big X the Plug out charismaed him on his own song. I know that sounds weird, like out charisma him. How did that happen? Big X the Plug just gave us more presence on that song than Wayne did. Go back and listen for yourself if you don't believe me. And that never happens to Wayne, or the Wayne that I know. It never happens to him. But on that song, yes. I'm going to say something that's going to sound very, very harsh, but it's the truth. Big Sean has the best verse on that whole album. And that ain't even Big Sean's album. I never thought I would say that. Big Sean out rapped Wayne on that song as well. On that song they share together, yeah. Big Sean did his thing. He killed that nigga. And that's just a testament to show you that rap has evolved past what Wayne used to be. I hate saying it as much as y'all hate hearing it, but it's the truth. That's the problem what we have right now in hip hop. We don't want to tell the truth anymore. But I love you enough to be able to tell you what it really is. Wayne is stagnant now. That bubble that he lived in is just parties, how many women that he's had sex with, drugs that he's taken. That's it. If if I want to hear that, I'll go back to the Carter 3, Carter 2, hear that. To me, I always look at Wayne as somebody who needs to move forward and evolve into more of a different role now. Executive produce, start pushing your talent on the New Young Money. He had a whole show where he introduced everybody for the New Young Money. And I'm like, okay, new talent. You about to start digging into it. But that's the problem. Some of these gunslingers don't know when to hang up their boots and their gun and say, I'm retired. And I'm not saying Wayne just doesn't need to do music at all anymore. I just think Wayne needs to go back into just doing features here and there, jumping out, showing that he's still, still be in the gym, putting up jumpers and shit. But as far as like another Wayne album, I don't know if I could ever do another one again. I barely wanted to listen to this one, and I listened to it twice. And it's just not what I remember. It's not what I wanted. And it's not something that he evolved. And don't get me wrong, I'm not looking for him to drop a 444. I just want you to mention what's going on with you in the relationship with your kids. He had 2 of his kids on there. Regine's name came up quite a few times. Congratulations, my brother. But what is it like? What's Dad Wayne like? Other than buying your kid a Ferrari, or we pulled up in a Ferrari. What kind of troubles are you having raising your kids if you're raising your kids? That's all I'm asking. To wrap this whole thing up, I'll just say this. I think a lot of people went to one extreme or the other when it came to this album. Either they said this shit was complete garbage or this shit was one of the classics. And that's typically how the timeline goes when we talk about Wayne and we talk about new albums. Either on one side of the conversation or the other. Me personally, I was the person who already knew we were going to get. He just not album Wayne no more. Now, do you think we put too much pressure on Wayne? Do we think we put too much pressure on a lot of the legends to evolve into something better? At what point do you think Wayne needs to hang it up? I would love to hear the conversation you guys want to have about it. Let me know in the comments.
AI is ruining music. Whatever. Go ahead and cry me a river, since Timbo Stamp is on that too.
Y'all crying about AI taking your spot, but your songs barely mix. Why would we train it on that?
Man, y'all scared of AI, but record every hook in Melodyne.
Auto-tune is AI, baby. Y'all just didn't complain till it started writing better hooks than you. Timbo ain't the villain. He just not babysitting y'all no more. You want opportunity, but ain't got output.
You worried about AI stealing your sound? Bro, you ain't got one.
Who am I kidding? I ain't had no bars to begin with.
So imagine, I'm one of the biggest producers in the world, and you just came to me and told me you need a deal. You want to be the next best thing out in music, in hip hop and R&B, whatever the case may be. And I said, you and your music is soulless. Ain't no soul there no more. I can't get you to do what I need you to do, but I can get a computer to do your job better than you can damn do it. And I went out and I signed an AI artist in your spot. How would that make you feel? Well, that's what Timbaland did when he went out and signed Tata, a fully AI-generated music artist that he signed to his AI label. I'm not bullshitting when I say that. That's exactly what the fuck that nigga did. and it is stupid. This is Timbaland's first move into having a fully functioning A-pop genre. He signed an AI artist instead of going to people who actually know how to do music in a different way and have a soul. If you ask me, this is more of a control situation than anything else. I think AI is a scapegoat for saying, I just don't want to deal with you niggas no more. You don't want to listen to me. You don't want to do it my way. That's what I took from it. I'm not saying that AI is 100% bad. I've always been the type of person that said, if you're going to use AI, use it. Artists who are up and coming who don't have a big budget, they should be able to use it for horns, whatever the case may be, until you get to the point where you can pay real people who can do horns or drums or whatever you need for your music. AI should never substitute the real thing, and that's the truth. You use it for needs. He's trying to start a whole genre. In a recent interview, Timbaland said the 2024 election has made music bland and divided.
Reconciled to this whole election has divided us.
Yep. 1,000%.
And when I mean by that, it divided the music sound bland, it sound boring, and which is, we talk about AI and artificial intelligence, but shuck, that's the only thing that has a pure soul right now.
Yeah.
That you can create something and just express your true feelings and it comes out beautiful.
I didn't know Donald Trump rapped. Nigga, like I didn't know he was putting out an album here recently. I didn't know that Joe Biden was out here in the trap hooking up ciphers and shit. What the fuck are you talking about? The 2024 election divided rap, divided music. He also claims that AI can deliver more emotion and creativity. Maybe it's your shit that don't have emotion and creativity anymore. Just saying. I'm sick of the scapegoat politics that these producers, these OG producers keep putting on there. You guys hate first of all, you guys hate being the OGs in the room. You hate doing that because you don't want to teach anymore. You don't have the presence to sit up there, or you don't have the patience. I'm sorry. You don't have the patience anymore to sit down and teach people how to do music. You always blame, these YNs don't want to listen to me. You're Timbaland. You've made multi-platinum hits. You've made great albums. You've produced for everybody. What do you mean they don't want to listen to you? What do you mean there's no soul in music anymore? Have you heard of Rico Nasty? Have you heard of Black Sam? Have you heard of Alex Isley? Have you heard of Tierra Whack? Have you heard of Little Sims? I could go on. You want people to do things your way. And the best way to control how the situation goes is by using AI. It's the ultimate control. It's the ultimate thing to get over the fact that you got somebody in the booth and you're telling them to sing it this way. They're trying to do it and they don't understand your direction. That's just my opinion. That's just how I'm looking at it. But for you to sit up there and say AI has more soul and creativity than human beings, well, you're just a fool. Sorry I had to tell you that way, but it's the truth. Here's the part of the story that nobody's talking about. It has been said that, and I'm reading my notes now, demos are fed into the software which outputs vocals and melodies. No artists, no studio, no session musicians. Now, for a long time, people were sending Timbaland music. He was listening to people's music on live. He was just doing a lot of different things. He had a whole beat club at one point in time where people could join up. They could give them their beats. He could actually present them to different labels or to different places they can get sync work, and then they would get the credit through him. So where are you finding these demos to feed your AI is what I'm asking. So allegedly, Timbaland from his beat club days were actually taking people's music and their production and actually getting some of these things submitted. He would get paid off of it and he wouldn't give the fair splits. I don't know how true that is. Again, this is allegedly. And then I was told that there were situations where it possibly could be some people's music that got fed into this AI to help create it or to help grow it. Now, Timbaland, of course, denied all of this. Timbaland said, hey, I didn't do it. Now, he went live last night. I wasn't able to see that live because I wanted to see what he wanted to lie about during that live. Now, there's a lot of hip hop podcasters who actually are agreeing with this. Your favorite hip hop podcaster, Ray Daniels, had this to say about it.
Yo, and in today's news of artists are never satisfied. Artists are never happy. This is why executives, producers, stuff of that nature don't work with artists. First of all, the Timbaland, who has super producer, who has, I see helping as many artists as he can, decides he's going to play in the AI world, which, why the fuck wouldn't you? Like, let me tell you what an AI thing is. Let me tell you what an AI character is. Mickey Mouse is an AI character. Donald Duck is an AI character. Bugs Bunny is an AI character. You guys are looking at it wrong. He's going to make a character that he can have sing songs and things of that nature, sell products. That's all these cartoonists and all these young kid TV shows are doing anyway. So why y'all mad at him? Plus, do you know how hard it is to push an artist? They gonna tell you, I don't want to do that. Jimmy Iovine famously told me one day, get you something that don't talk back. What is better than an AI artist that don't talk back? And we're still mad at him. Somebody just called me like, what you think about what Timbaland did? Ain't it vulturist? I'm like,
I know he's this record executive, a former record executive that used to do all of this shit, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't trust Ray Daniels as far as I can throw him because he was a record executive. At the end of the day, man, your job is to guide artists into the right direction. At the end of the day, you gotta say some things that they ain't gonna like and you ain't gonna like. At the end of the day, your job is to mold an artist into something better. That's what happened to you, right? Timbaland would have never got to where he is if he didn't have a mentor to tell him some hard truths. Now, I know we're in an age where people don't understand hard truths and everything is gaslighting and oh my God, like he just said this. I get it. Your job as the person in charge is to go get over those humps. See, you don't want to do the work on your end. You just want to go to something that's easy. That's what Lupe Fiasco did. We look up Lupe Fiasco and his AI radio station. Very interesting read. How you doing, Lupe? At the end of the day, man, this is probably some of the laziest bullshit I've ever heard in my entire life because you're a super producer. Get over your fucking ego and guide these new artists into somewhere different. I ain't seen you on now one new indie artist thing at all. None of the record, you ain't doing none of that shit. You sitting up in your fucking house, bobbing your head to other people's music, feeding the algorithm, and feeding your pockets as well. It's a money play. We know what it is. We know what it is. You're taking away what we love the most about music, which is the person, the stories, the lived experiences. That's what makes music great. Our algorithm can't talk about a heartbreak of some nigga who cheated on you with your best friend. An AI artist can't sit up here and talk about how you had it rough growing up because nobody believed in you. I referenced this song in my last album review. Hero's Demo is one of the most heartfelt, emotional songs ever by this UK artist by the name of Prof. And he's a rapper. And he had me and he like this. You can't imitate feelings. You can't imitate lived experiences. What you're doing is you're feeding your pockets and you're trying to cheat the system and you don't want to pay nobody. You're part of the old school way of thinking when it came to this industry. Just another one. You ain't no better than Diddy, bruh. I think using AI in music is a serious situation. I just know that there's a lot of independent artists that deserves a break or deserves to have an opportunity to work with some of these big time producers and actually get an opportunity to make it where they to whatever point in music they want to make it in. When you start replacing these people with AI, bro, it just cheapens the music. You're doing exactly what UMG would do. You're doing exactly what some of the major Sony would do. You're just kind of being the middleman. You're middle management doing some bullshit. What do you think? Do you think AI is the next frontier? Is this the next thing that's going to take over music? Are we going to actually replace the artists that we love so much? Or do you think Timbaland's just a control freak? Let me know in the comments. Well, guys, that's all the time that I have for this week. I'm glad you guys came back to support me. Make sure you guys are checking out the playlist that I have, the UK the Coles UK collections, and in the Loop, they're updated every Monday. So the new update will be tomorrow. Also, subscribe to the channel, man. Give me some likes, give me some comments. Let me know how you're feeling about the content that I'm giving you and if I need to change anything. I love you guys. I'm thankful for you guys to be coming back every week, and I'll catch you on Wednesday. Peace out.
Thank you for joining the STEM Society.